Hello, welcome to another video. Today we are gonna be exploring the concept that my shirt says. Buying books and reading books are different hobbies. We are gonna be reacting to a huge book haul that I did last spring. So about a year ago, I did a 50 book haul, or 50 plus books, I don't know how many exactly, 50 plus book haul. And I want to know what happened to those books, because I've done some big unhauls since then, and I'm curious. I think it's going to be bad. But before we get into that, I would like to say a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. You will have heard me talk about Skillshare before, you may have heard other people talk about Skillshare before. Skillshare is an online learning platform for a community of creatives to learn many different topics. I say creatives, there's a lot of creative classes on there, but do not let that fool you. There are also plenty of classes that are more career driven as well. So classes such as like productivity and freelancing and marketing, social media, video editing, things like that, as well as the creative things like animation, creative writing, film and video, fine art, graphic design, all sorts on there. So whether you're looking to delve into something creative and learn something new, or if you're looking for something to further your career, then Skillshare could possibly have something for you. One of the classes that I am interested in taking is one about AI and how you can use AI to organise your life. This is a class by Sina Port, and is all about how Sina managed to use AI to maximise productivity, from things like meal planning to using it in a wardrobe and helping beat procrastination and helping with like content creation and writing and editing and things like that. So I'm really interested to see how that works, and especially because she mentions that the AI tools that she talks about in the class are free and accessible, so I'm interested to see if I could implement any of those in my own life. So if you think that Skillshare may have something for you, then I am very happy to let you know that there is a little link down in the description where the first 1,000 people to click the link will be able to make use of a free month trial to test out the platform, see what you think of it, and enjoy some learning. So thank you very much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching, and let's get on with the reacting to this book haul. Right, I have got the haul up. It is half an hour long, so let us begin. Hello, welcome to another video. I have a massive stack of books behind me. It is tall enough to go off camera. It's massive. Can I tilt you to just see how it's really big? That. Oh, no, I can't even get you to see how tall that stack is. It's a really big stack of books. Already seeing ones that are gone. 51 books to haul today. I don't know how this happened, when this happened, where this happened, but there's a lot of books here. This is probably gonna fall over. I'm already seeing books behind me and crush me that are gone as well. Have the ultimate reader's death of crushed by TBR. We're gonna start from the top of the stack, and let's get to the point. Try not to let this fall on me. I'm getting to the point, thankfully. Success! Book number 1, Rainbow Grey, Eye of the Storm, this beautiful Waterstones edition with the fancy sprayed edge. I picked this one up in Manchester when I was with Steph, Gav and Pris. I have not read Rainbow Grey, Eye of the Storm. I read Rainbow Grey 1, really enjoyed that, but haven't continued the series. Success! We then have By Ash, Oak and Thorn, which again I picked up in Manchester. I haven't read that, and I think it's on my downstairs TBR cart because it's a middle grade and I've massively gone off middle grades. I do recall that sounding very cute, but another one that I have not read, surprise surprise. Next one, White Fox by Chen Zhaitong, which I have read that. That was actually one of my Patreon book club reads for last year, I think. It was a bit bizarre, and I remember there being a cult of bunnies. I have since unhauled it, but I have read it, so there's a win there. But yeah, about a cute little white fox, and some horrible deaths and bunny cult. Still one I picked up in Manchester, The Ice Bear Miracle. Again, polar fantasy, middle grade is the big issue I'm sensing already in this haul. I've gone off middle grade. Haven't read that, still own it. Haven't read it, may read it for a polathon, I don't know. I might unhaul it. It's in the downstairs cart, so I might unhaul it. Next up, I have The Bird Singers, again one that I picked up in Manchester. Again, a middle grade. It's in the downstairs cart. Haven't read it. Don't know if I will. I don't read a lot of middle grade anymore. And I know there's a lot more middle grade to come in this stack. Oh, my downstairs TBR cart is just full of middle grade because I had to get it off my shelf. Because I wasn't leaning to it and it was making me feel weird looking at my shelves, not wanting to read half the books I owned. So, it's downstairs. Next up, I have Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi. This is the sequel to Pet, which I read very early. I have read Bitter. I read Bitter for a 24-hour readathon that I did earlier this year, actually. Did thoroughly enjoy it and thoroughly enjoyed Pet. I think Bitter I possibly enjoyed more than Pet, but I very much enjoyed both of those books and have them both on my shelf still, so we have a winner with Bitter. Next up, I picked up The Last Firefox by Lee Newbury. Same issue as before. Middle grade, it's in the cart downstairs. I don't think I need to say anymore. Pretty much if a middle grade comes up, it's probably either gone or in the cart downstairs, because I'm just not gonna read them. Unless my middle grade mood suddenly comes back. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's been too long. I don't know. Fingers crossed for me, folks. I have The Thief Who Sang Storms by Sophie Anderson. Obviously, whilst I was up in Manchester, we went to go and see The House with Chicken Legs, and we did go and see The House with Chicken Legs, and we met Sophie Anderson, and I still haven't read The Thief Who Sang Storms, and that's signed and personalised, and I still haven't read it. I am terrible. I do still have that one on this shelf, though, actually, because it's Sophie Anderson, and Sophie Anderson is special and gets special treatment. Pokemon Journeys, because I'm in a massive Pokemon phase of my life, and I've never read any Pokemon, so I picked up a year ago, I had never read any Pokemon. That is wild. I am still in a massive Pokemon phase of my life. I don't think it's a phase. It's not a phase, Mom. I love Pokemon and have now read quite a lot, including Journeys. X and Y Volume 1. The Adventures. Haven't read that one. There are many different volumes from many different, generations of Pokemon. Oh my god, I didn't know about how to read Pokemon Adventures at this point. I've come so far with my Pokemon life, but I haven't read X and Y yet, just because I'm not there yet. I'm still reading the Adventures series. But I did read Journeys. Haven't read X and Y Adventures yet, because I've read other ones. Ooh. Next up, I have Venice Underground by Jeff Vandermeer. Jeff Vandermeer... I haven't read that yet. I have improved my catalogue of Jeff Vandermeer knowledge. Venice Underground is just not one of the ones that I have read yet. I will get there. Still have it, but I just haven't got to that one just yet. Still very much interested in it though, but I have focused on reading some other Jeff Vandermeers. I will get there. City of Saints and Mad Men. This one is so floppy. That is floppy. Just feel the flop. I can't. I could feel the flop as well, but it's a lot smaller. So beautiful, very floppy. Do I know anything about either of these books? Absolutely not. Still don't. They're written by Jeff Vandermeer. We'll take it from there. Same thing applies. Next up, I have The Shadow Glass by Josh Winning. I have read that. I read that late last year, I believe. I really enjoyed that. It gave me super nostalgic vibes, but I did really enjoy that. Very much like Dark Crystal Labyrinth style. I have since unhauled it, just because realistically I don't think it's one that I would have reread, but thoroughly enjoyed and do recommend.
Next up, I have Bad Gods, which I've heard nothing about. I
love that.
Absolutely nothing about.
I know about it now because I have read that. I've read it, I still own it, I really enjoyed it, and have picked up a couple more books from Guy Sebald. Haven't read the other ones yet, but I did really enjoy this, about a young girl who runs a brothel. I say young girl, young woman who runs a brothel, but is also kind of being hunted by some pretty corrupt gods for a life that she used to be part of before she escaped to the city and started running a brothel.
Picked up in Manchester is Jungle Nama
by
Amitav Ghosh.
I have read that one as well. That one was a very little book, and honestly, can I remember a lot about the story? No, but I know that I enjoyed it, and I think it has since been unhauled. It might be in that pile over there, actually, to go to a charity shop. But I liked it.
I think we're safe from it falling over now, but next up we have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland that came in an Al Crate Jr. Do I need another edition of this? No. We then have An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X. Arpan, which came in a Fairy Loot box. I know nothing about this, but damn, look at those edges. And then I have The Mirrorwood, which was the Al Crate Jr. book.
That's also
from the recent unboxing that I did. I don't know a whole lot about this, other than the little passage I can see on the back, which says, I was wearing my sister's faith.
It's gone. The last 3 books I've mentioned are gone, and I didn't read them. I mean, I've read Alice in Wonderland before, though.
I have Blood Sign by Deborah Fillet.
Also gone. That was a beautiful book. Do I show Under the Dust Jacket? I'm going to assume I do, because it was a beautiful book. There you go. But I didn't read it, and don't regret that. Like, not one I find myself thinking about, I'll be honest.
And another recent Fairy Loot book that I am interested in is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie
I know
Owen,
my taste. I know my taste, because I have read that, and I did really enjoy that. And it did give me Spirited Away vibes, as I think I mentioned in the video. Like, it's gorgeous. I enjoyed reading it. I liked it. I still have it. It's here, actually. Right here.
And then the final book box book is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, which is the adult Fairy Loot book, which
is also gone. I have unhauled that, sold it, gone. Didn't stick around for long. Honestly, I just didn't have any interest in the Atlas 6 whatsoever, so I'm not sad about that one.
Next up is a book I stole, which is I, Cosmo, but I stole it from Steph. It was
stolen from Steph. She was unhauling it, and I picked it up. And now I regret that, because it's a middle grade, and it's on the cart downstairs, and I'm probably never going to read it, and it's probably going to get unhauled by me as well. I wish I read more middle grade when I was in a middle grade mood, so that this wasn't so terrible.
I have an arc that was gifted to me. This is From Dust Aflame by Rebecca Podos.
I unhauled that too. I really like the other book from Rebecca Podos that I read, which I have also actually since unhauled. But I liked it, which was the one about the sisters. Can't remember what it's called, but I liked Rebecca Podos' other book that I read. Something about this one just really didn't sound right to me. I think it was like World War II vibes, and historical fiction really just ain't my thing.
Next up, I have Gallant by Victoria Schwab. This is my regular edition. I do also have the
Of course I do.
signed Waterstones special edition,
I do.
but I have lent that one out to my mum, who should be reading it, I think.
She did read it in the end.
So I have my standard edition here as well.
I read that as soon as I got my hands on it. I still have multiple copies. They're in the other room. Love it. Gorgeous.
Next up, I have The Strange Worlds Travel Agency, The Secrets of the Storm Forest by L.D. Lipinski.
This is another middle grade that I haven't read. It's on the cart downstairs. Is it on the cart downstairs? Yes, it is on the cart downstairs. I wish I had continued this series when I was in the mood for it, but I didn't. And now I just don't have those middle grade vibes in me that I once had. So this one's disappointing, I won't lie, because I really liked the first one, but I know that I just won't be in the mood for the next one, ever, maybe.
I have one that is not my normal cup of tea in the slightest, but we have The X-Hex by Erin Sterling.
Definitely not my normal cup of tea in the slightest, but I have actually read that. And I read The Kiss Curse, or I read most of The Kiss Curse. The X-Hex I liked, it surprised me, but I have read it and since unhauled it because it's not my normal cup of tea. I'm never going to reread it, but it surprised me with how much I did like it. I read it in my Which Wins vlog.
Next up, I have a very recent purchase that still has a receipt in it of Frankie Best Hates Quests. This was picked.
That cover really speaks to me. I think if I were to want to pick up a middle grade, it could be that one. Because the more I'm looking at it now, maybe? I still own it. It's on the cart downstairs, but I haven't read it. Do still own it. I could maybe give that one a go. I could see myself trying that. It's about a young girl who ends up going on a quest, but she doesn't want to go on this fantasy quest. She just wants to be on her phone because she's, a tween.
Is Wilder the Midnight by Kerry Burnell.
Why did I buy so much middle grade? I know why I bought so much middle grade. Because I used to love it. I used to love reading middle grade, and I would fly through them. And now I'm just not in a mood for it, and it makes me sad because all these middle grades have gorgeous covers, sound so whimsical and magical and amazing, and I'm into my grim political fantasy. Give me war, give me bloodshed. Not middle grade right now.
Next up, I have a German edition of Death Note. Thanks, Jess, for this gifted one. She accidentally gifted me this in German.
Yeah, I did have a German edition of Death Note for a while. I no longer do. I do now own an English copy of Death Note, so that's gone.
The Promised Neverland as well,
nearly missed
which
one.
Is one of her favourite mangas.
The Promised Neverland. I have read that, and I didn't like it. So I have unhauled that, will not be continuing that series. Didn't like it very much at all. Haven't yet read Death Note, though. The English copy, not the German copy.
Next up, I have Wrath and Mercy by Jessica Rubinkowski. This is the sequel to The Bright and the Pale, which I read for Polathon. I didn't pre-order this.
I never found out where that book came from. I don't know who gifted it to me, because I never pre-ordered it. I have since unhauled this. I'm sorry to whoever gifted it to me. I found The Bright and the Pale boring. Oh, gonna miss one.
Thank you, Amanda, for Of Blood and Fire by Ryan
Haven't read that either.
Cahill. This one,
I've seen a lot of hype for that series since doing this video. I think it came onto my shelves when there was less hype than there is now. But I've seen a lot of people raving about Of Blood and Fire, so I do need to get to that one. And it's still up there. I just haven't got there yet. But yeah, Bright and the Pale was boring, and I never read the sequel, so sorry about that one.
Similar situation with Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson, which was gifted to me by Kathleen. Thank you very much, Kathleen.
Thank you very much, Kathleen.
Gift me 5
on a mission to give me only 5-star reads. Is that still true? I don't know. I still have Illborn. It intimidates the heck out of me, not gonna lie. It's the possibly biggest book on my TBR. But I still own it and still have intention to read it eventually.
Oh, fingers crossed I like it. And thank you, Kathleen, for this one. Next up, a gift from Emma. Thank you, Emma, is Unconquerable Sun, which is a political sci-fi. Basically, the last political...
I haven't read that, but it is still on my shelf, and it's still one that I am excited to read. So, yay. But yeah, political sci-fi. I would like to read more political sci-fi, because I love my political fantasy. Still excited about this one, yeah.
Next up, a gift from William, thank you so much, William, is Furies of Calderon, which is the first book in the Codex Alera series.
Sorry, William, that I haven't yet read it, but I do still have the Furies of Calderon book up there on my shelf. Still plan to read it. It's not one that's at risk of leaving. I just haven't got there yet. Sorry.
Next up, gifted from Cece, thank you very much, Cece, is The Swordsman's Lament, The Royal Champion, Book 1.
I read that. Did not like it. Unhauled it. Was so disappointed in The Swordsman's Lament. It was blurbed by Sebastian de Castell, so I was expecting greatness. Did not get greatness. Did not enjoy that one. It was a miss from me, very sadly.
Also from CC, because The Girl Never Stops,
True,
is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry.
Did I only get that a year ago? I have read that. I feel like I read that such a long time ago, but clearly, as this was only last spring's book haul, so like just over a year ago, clearly it hasn't been in my life as long as I thought it had, because I feel like that book's been around forever. But I have read it, thoroughly enjoyed it, cute, cozy, coffee shop fantasy, loved it.
Next up, I have Goldie Vance, The Hotel Whodunit.
I have read that. It was okay, it was fine, I guess, but yeah, not one I'm ever going to reread because I've unhauled it since. It was on a self-destruct TBR, so I did read it, but not one that I'm going to stick with. I liked volumes 1 to 4 of the comic. Volume 5 of the comic was a bit pants, and then I didn't enjoy the book so much either. So if you want to give Goldie Vance a try, volumes 1 to 4 of the comic is the way to go, in my opinion.
Next up, gifted to me by Stacey, thank you very much, Stacey, is Starfell 4, Willow Moss and the Magic Thief.
I have read that because I've read all of the published Starfell books, and at the time of reading the first few, I really liked them. They were great fun. I have given all of my copies to my sister currently, who is loving them, as I am less in a middle grade mood these days. It's not sitting so high on my list of rankings, but I can appreciate it still. I thoroughly enjoyed the series when I started reading them, and my sister, who is the actual target audience, loves them. So I still hold Starfell in high regards, but yeah, it's with my sister now who's loving them.
Cool. Next up, also gifted to me by Cece, because Cece never stops,
True,
is Wildelaw, The Accidental Apprentice by Amanda Foody.
Another middle grade! Something about this one still makes me want to keep hold of it, because Pokemon, but yeah.
Fledgling by Lucy Hope. I don't know anything
that one,
about this
that one is on the cart downstairs. I still don't know anything about this book. That one has made its way to the cart downstairs. Another middle grade that I just don't think I'm gonna read. I'm curious about if... Wildelaw has managed to stay up here, so clearly something about that kept my interest.
A signed copy of Adam 2. She knows I'm an Alistair Chisholm fan.
I am an Alistair Chisholm fan. I still haven't read that, but again, it's still in this room. If it's a middle grade that's managed to stay in this room rather than go to the cart downstairs, then that's a good sign, I think, currently, until I do my next purge.
Gifted to me by Jess. Thank you again, Jess, for this one. But we have the brick that is the desert.
I'm sorry, Jess. That one is in the unhaul pile. I was told, I'm pretty sure on this video actually, I was told numerous times, you can't read The Desert Prince until you've read Peter V. Brett's other books, and I have no interest in reading Peter V. Brett's other books, so I'm never going to get to The Desert Prince. And as much as I would love to, because it's got great reviews, people love it, Jess loves it, I just realistically don't see myself ever picking up Peter V. Brett's other books just to get to that one, so it had to go. And it was the unhaul with Caitlin, where it went.
Do some graphic novels that I haven't hauled, but I think I've mentioned in videos, so I'll try and fly through these.
Ooh, graphic
we
novels.
have City of Dragons, about a young girl who
Read it.
hatches a dragon egg
Liked it.
awakens dragons. Sounds super duper cute.
It was.
We have Scales and Scoundrels Volume 2. I've definitely spoken about this before. Really enjoyed Volume 1. Dragons, Adventure, Dragon Horde. Good time. Next up, we have A Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag.
Did I read that?
I have
don't
read
think I've read
something
that.
from Molly Knox Ostertag before, but I can't recall what it
I
is
haven't
off the
read
top
that.
of my head. But I've had this one for a while now. It was one of the first ones that were put into this haul pile.
Haven't read it though.
I've just not got around to hauling until now, so
still haven't got around to reading.
Read this one. It's been in my library for a decent period of time. Next up, I have The Sad Ghost Club 2. I liked the first one.
Have
it
read.
Was cute. It was
Haven't
fluffy.
picked up
I
Volume
enjoyed
3.
It. Here's the sequel. I need to get to
But
it.
I did read that.
Next up, I have The Dire Days of Willowweep Manor. Pretty sure I've mentioned this in a video at some point recently
read that.
as well. This is about a young girl who is obsessed with gothic romance novels and pretty much finds herself in one. Next up, we have Jalea. I need to learn how to pronounce this. But this is
I still
West
need to learn how to
African-inspired
pronounce that.
fantasy graphic novel.
Haven't read it
I
yet.
don't know too much about it, but it sounded like great fun being inspired by
down
West
there.
African folklore. There's a prince, there's a wizard, there's an adventure, and fearsome power that could be used to destroy the world.
Still
Next
want
up,
to read
I
it.
have Invisible Kingdom Volume 3. I think this is the last one. I think Invisible Kingdom only has 3 volumes. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if that is the case, I just need to binge these.
I still want
Invisible
to do
Kingdom
that though.
is
I have only read Invisible Kingdom Volume 1. I need to reread that and continue that series because I really liked the first one and just never continued for some reason. But yeah, is there more than 3? I don't know.
Get themselves in a situation. And then finally, last one on here was a gift from Emmy. Thank you very much, Emmy, for Shark Summer.
Have read.
Which is a middle grade
It's down there.
Jaws inspired graphic novel. I'm excited to see what this is all about because I really don't know.
Have read it. Enjoyed it. Still on the shelf. Honestly, probably one I could unhaul because I don't see myself rereading. But have read it. Wow.
And I don't know how I'm going to fit any of these on my bookshelf.
How did
Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you to anyone who gifted me anything.
We'll
from
stop
this haul.
her
You're all the absolute
here.
best.
She can stop now. Okay, that was pretty bad, to be honest. There was a lot of middle grade on there that I haven't read. I feel like there was a lot of books, especially towards the beginning of that, a lot of books that I have already unhauled. But the main problem I noticed in that is middle grade. And it makes sense because at the time I was in a middle grade mood, so it would have made sense for me to be buying and reading middle grades. They were middle grades that I felt passionately about at the time. My reading mood has just changed so much. I don't even know if I can call it reading mood anymore, or just reading taste, because it's been a while since I've picked up a middle grade and enjoyed it. So I don't know if it might just be a taste thing now rather than a mood. I don't want to say that I've grown out of middle grade. I don't want to say that because I think you can read middle grade at any age. I don't think that there's a limit on it. Like when you hit a certain age, you can just never read a kid's book again. And I would love to go back to middle grade at some point, but my current reading tastes just don't align with middle grade, so there was a lot of those on there, and a lot of them that are in the downstairs book cart, which was my way of kind of out of sight, out of mind, without committing to unhauling them, and it's working, you know. If I am struck by the mood to read a middle grade, they're still there, you know? We'll wait and see if it happens. Otherwise, I think the haul has proven the t-shirt correct. Buying books and reading books are different hobbies. Because there was a lot there that I haven't read. A lot there that's still on my shelf, but that I don't want to say haven't had the time to get to, because I've had as much time as everyone else. But yeah, ones that I just haven't got to yet. And I still have all intention of getting to them. But I say that about every book in this room. So we'll see if that happened. But yeah, that was a massive book haul. And you know what? I've actually stopped filming book hauls. Whenever I buy a book, I mention it in my vlog. So I then don't do a haul because it feels repetitive. And also, just personally, in this room anyway, the idea of having a stack of books waiting for me to film a video before they can go on my shelves just really doesn't work in this space that I've got anymore. If I had a bigger library, maybe I would feel better about having like a dedicated haul cart so I could do massive hauls when I've accrued that many books. But yeah, hauls just aren't something that I do right now. Do you want me to? Do you miss them? I don't know. You let me know, because you see what I buy in my vlogs anyway, if you're a vlog watcher. So, yeah, that is what that is. Anyway, I feel like that was an eye-opening experience for me, and hopefully it was a somewhat entertaining experience for you. Don't be like me, kids. Read the books you buy, don't hoard them, and don't buy 51 books that you're not gonna read. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and remember, if you want to take advantage of that 1 month free trial, use the link down below. Thank you, Skillshare, for that. But yeah, I will see you in whatever I come out with next. Bye!